What's up, daily fantasy sports people? I'm King Tony 911, and I'm here with
Hey Mac 21, baby. What's going
what's
on, guys?
up? What's up, guys? Yeah, so yesterday was a fun day for fantasy sports. Some guys went off, and guess what? If you didn't have Russell Westbrook last night, you were in a tough situation. Amen can tell you that.
Yeah, I definitely didn't have him last night. Durant sat out, and yeah, I decided to roll the dice and not take him.
Yeah,
Boy,
that
did
was
it.
late news. He's been playing about 50% of their usage when Durant's out, so he was definitely a good pick to go with, guys. If you didn't roster him, it's kind of tough. He put up about 75 points, but definitely understandable. There was other options out there. As I said yesterday too, Anthony Davis was a big hitter. I threw that out there. If you guys were going to do or if you guys were going to do GPPs, I threw him out there as an option because I looked it up. He was about 11% ownage, so he was a low own. You could have got a lot of points there. But what we're gonna do, we'll break down some of the games. We'll go over some of our picks and some of our flops from yesterday. All right, Amec, what's going on? Uh,
Unbelievable. Well, I will say this. Russell Westbrook obviously burned me. Um, but another guy that I was actually very disappointed in last night, he was actually one of my top four picks of the night, and that's Mr. DeMar DeRozan. Uh, Against Milwaukee. Had a great matchup at $7 grand. Like I said, I mean, to me he was underpriced, and 43 minutes, flogging some big minutes over the last couple games, and he's been very productive. Yesterday, 25 minutes, scored pretty well, but that was really much about it. I mean, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. I mean, 1 steal. That's just not going to get it done. 22 and a half was one of my, besides the whole not getting Russell Westbrook into my lineup, he was definitely a big flop for me. Nikolai Pekovic, you know what? I don't think he did that bad. 21 points. It's not going to make or break your lineup, especially at his price tag.
that
He's at
you,
5 grand, 5,300.
you could have been on Mozgov though, who put up about 32 for a little bit cheaper.
Yeah,
That
I could have took Mozgov, but I like the matchup for Peck. I thought he was in a nice spot to at least reach value, and he did fairly well for me. I mean, not great, but definitely didn't kill me. Devin Harris, 56% had him last night. I was actually kind of surprised that number's wasn't a little bit higher, but 18 and a quarter at his
Yeah,
price
he,
tag.
he reached value at his price tag, man. He had what 3,100. He reached value.
Yeah,
Nobody
he did
expected
very
him to
well.
drop off crazy. If something would have happened, that would have been amazing. But nothing really happened. 18's what I expected. I was hoping maybe 20, but 18.25. I mean, you can't really complain there.
Yeah, 18's not bad. Looking down my lineup, I mean, everybody else did pretty solid. Zach Randolph finished with 32. I mean, you're looking for a little bit better with the matchup and everything like that, and especially the games that he's been having. His stat lines have been gigantic, but he had a really rough first half. And for him to actually come back and actually he salvaged the 32, let's be honest, because he really looked like crap in that first half.
Oh yeah, man. He had like 8.25 or 8.5 at half, and I was sweating that pick. He was killing all my lineups, and then he came in the second half and he dropped about 32. He could have had a much better game if he would have just kept up the production from the second half throughout the game. He could have been an easy 50, but it didn't turn out that way last night.
Well, I think another guy that really, I don't really want to say too much of a letdown, but I mean Monte Ellis. I mean,
Oh God,
20,
man, that's a total letdown. The matchup, the usage. The dude put 32. I mean, on a normal night or 31.25, you're looking at that. You're like, that's great on a normal night. But for his price tag and for what he was hyped up to be and the matchup and everything was just in place for him, and he just didn't do what we expected.
yeah, I
That
was at least looking for 40, 45 out of him. 31's a huge letdown. Um, I mean, it's what you can do, Only 45% owned him in my 50-50 here, so that number's kind of outstanding too. I thought he would be a little bit more owned as well. But obviously, the highest owned guy of the night was Russell Westbrook at 77% owned. He was probably close to 81, 82 in other leagues throughout the night. So if you didn't have him, you were definitely at a huge disadvantage. And I mean, really, in my honest opinion, if you didn't have him, you lost last night.
And yeah, you know what the funny thing was last night though, and I wanted to point this out to some of you guys. With GPPs, you had a better chance of winning than you did with 50-50s last night if you didn't have him. Like I won both of my GPPs because Russell Westbrook was only like a 20% owned. So people took risks by not having him, by trying to differentiate their lineup, and that kind of hurt them. So I was able to pick up some wins over there on the layups. So that was nice.
Well, I mean, that's exactly what you want to do in a GPP. But sometimes when the matchup is just that great, and for me, I mean, I took a risk myself actually in a cash game, and I just didn't see him putting up 70-some points. I was looking maybe 50, 55, and I thought the guys that I had were going to be able to help me overcome that from him. I mean, because other than that, I mean, my lineup, other than DeRozan and probably Monte Ellis and Zach Randolph, everybody else did pretty well. I mean, I had Chris Middleton, 44 and 3/4. Robert Covington, again, in a matchup that nobody really thought that he was going to do well in. I took a gamble, got me 44 and 3/4. I mean, you just can't ask for. And like I said, back to Pekovic, 21 points. You know, I will definitely take that. Tyreek Evans, 45 and a quarter. I mean, there were some good spots for guys.
Jared Dudley, man. Jared Dudley did pretty good with 26.25 at his value. He was only like 4,100. He was somebody you could squeeze into your lineup. John Henson looked pretty good. He didn't do great, but he still had 26 points, which reached value. I'm trying to.
Well, I mean, you take a look at Jared Bayless. I mean, a guy that came in. Brandon Knight was hurt, didn't play. He came in, got you 33 minutes, put up 27 and 3/4 points. 9 assists, 8 points, 7 rebounds, flirting with a triple-double, and, in 3 ways. I mean, hey, you got to hand it to him. I mean, Kyle Lowry's really not the best defender, so anybody who took a shot at him, I mean, it really made sense.
Yeah, and another thing, guys, Dion Waiters, when that came out that Durant was hurt, he was another good pickup. The shooting guard position's really hard to roster. So when Dion Waiters was available, you knew his usage was going to go up. Nothing compared to what Westbrook's went up as. But you saw him. He was only $4,000. He ended up putting up, I think it was 32.5. The dude went off for what he should have. He was really once the news came out with Durant, he had a high floor, low ceiling. So he was a good pick after that information came up. If you paired the two up, you were looking really good.
A lot of people took John Henson as well, 64% owned, 26 points, and his price tag was 4,600. I mean, that's definitely not bad.
Yeah, some of the big name guys I saw take him. A lot of them threw him into the strategy. It's just he's been so consistent. You just assume that he'd flip another 25, 30 points at his price tag. So he was definitely a good pickup.
He did very well. And another guy that actually I had in my lineup, and I kind of shied away from at the end. Let me see if I can find him here. Is Kevin Martin. I mean, he was 5,100. Yeah, Kmart was 5,100. He was definitely a guy I was looking at, and I think he came through in a big way. I'm trying to see what his total was last night. I'm trying to find somebody who had him, but I know he did fairly well. And he was definitely somebody that I had on my radar. Blake Griffin had 32. Giannis Antetokounmpo, not really anybody was on him.
Yeah, I think Kmart had, 28? And Antetokounmpo
did really well. Yeah, he had 29. 29. Kmart, just found him.
Yeah. Antetokounmpo, how much did he end up throwing up?
Antetokounmpo had 37. He had a double-double.
I was thinking about him.
12 rebounds.
I was thinking about him, but I shied off due to the matchup. He's somebody who's pretty consistent, but his matchup didn't look that right. But,
I think he was more of a plug-and-play for people. I guess just with the way people were picking, he kind of fit into that leftover price tag that they had. So, but I mean, his numbers were actually really good. I mean, lately. I mean,
yeah, he's definitely getting the minutes. Another thing that happened, guys, if you didn't know,
I mean, double-digit points too. The last 4 games.
Another thing that those guys benefited off of was O.J. Mayo told the ref some unkind words, and he got booted pretty quick in that game.
There were a couple F-bombs.
Yeah, he dropped some names that we don't want to say.
I think he dropped I
Yeah,
think he dropped John Cena's old finisher.
yeah, that good F word.
Put a little
Yeah,
FUs in there.
yeah, they booted him out. And one pick that I'd say I'm pretty disappointed with that I can say I didn't see coming, but J.J. Redick got injured last night, which sucks. Within 4 minutes of the game, so he only got like 1.25 points. I think he had a rebound and then got hurt. Kind of sucks. Something you guys can't factor in. It happens. Injuries happen. So it's something to look at. But yeah, sorry guys, that ended up happening. It messed up one of my lineups for sure. I ended up only with like a 275 instead of what could have been a 300 if I would have plugged somebody else. But stuff happens.
Yeah, definitely the big guys of the night were Westbrook, Anthony Davis again. I mean, 25% took him. I mean, to give you 56, I mean, against a very tough Atlanta team. Keep in mind, guys, they were on a 19-game winning streak coming into last night, and that was definitely a big game for them.
Anthony Davis did it on his own, man.
Yeah,
He broke the streak on his own.
and
It was
for him to come in off of an injury to put up the stat line that he did, it's just unbelievable. And I mean, Al Horford, I can't really comment too much defensively on him. He's got his good days and he's got his bad days. But man, hats off to Anthony Davis taking that team on his back. Unbelievable job.
most definitely. All right, guys. Well, we got a 5-game slate today. 5 games. It's right where you kind of like it, but it doesn't differentiate it enough. That's what I feel. So it's a little tricky to get
I
the
like
wrong
it.
there. You like it.
I think it's perfect.
I like 6 to 8. Five is right around the point. If they would have threw in one more game, I would have liked it. But it's better than 2. It's better than just a couple days ago with 2. So can't really complain there. But we got 5 games. We'll break those down for you. First game of the night, 6 o'clock start Central Time. We're looking at Denver, Philadelphia. Oh God.
Denver, Philadelphia. They got Denver by 6, 192 over under. Any news out of this game? It looks like we got Larry Drew starting again. Is, MCW out?
Yeah, it looks like it. Is he for sure out? They don't know for sure yet. So at this point, guys, I don't think he's going to play. I don't think Michael Carter-Williams will play. The thing is, though, the 76ers really like Michael Carter-Williams. They like to run through him a lot. So it's going to really hurt everybody on the team. So I would be looking I would look at guys like Covington again. He's got a weak matchup. So Covington, somebody I might be looking to play. Nerlens Noel, he's somebody I like. You got anybody on the Philadelphia side, really?
Definitely Covington is a guy I think you need to look at, especially after the game he had last night. They're not very great defensively against the power forward position. They're really not good against any of the big guys at all. Down low, they just can't defend. So he's definitely a guy you want to probably target. Nerlens Noel is always in the conversation. Didn't really do that well last night. Got only 4 points, 4 rebounds. But he's still around that 30-minute mark, and he's still fairly priced at 5,200. He's been reaching value the last couple games. So I mean, like I said, you can do worse. So he's definitely somebody you want to look at. Anybody? Let's see. Anybody else from that side? I mean, Larry Drew. I just don't know what you're going to get from him. I mean, $3,000. What did he get last night? He got 14 last night in 24 minutes. So I mean, he's somebody that you might want to roll the dice. Matchup's not great.
Point every half a minute. You might be looking at him though if he does get the start. So let's say he pulls 36 minutes, he might get 18 points, which then gives you more flexibility. And with tonight, there's not too many studs, but there's a couple guys you definitely want to roster in tonight that will give you a good advantage. So I might be playing him just so that I can have more flexibility with my lineup.
Yeah, you might want to put him in there. I mean, just to see if you need to use him to upgrade somewhere else. By all means, he's not a bad cap saver when you look at it that way.
Now with Denver guys, there are some options out there. Ty Lawson hasn't been putting up the crazy numbers, but his price tag has dropped. He's down to $8,000. So he's somebody that this is like the perfect comeback game for him to drop a double double. Maybe get you 12 assists, 20 points. So he's somebody I would be looking at. Aaron Aflalo, he's somebody else. I mean, pretty much anybody offensively on the side of Denver might be somebody to go in with. Now, what I'm going to say is a sneaky play, but I'm going to say is only GPP would be Nurkic. I feel like his minutes aren't really there as of late, but with the tempo play that they'll be going back and forth, he may be able to drop you 30. I could see 30 easily. And with the center position, if you want to go value, then he might be somebody that you would like to plug in so that maybe you could spend up in other positions. But with Whiteside and Cousins out there, maybe you want to go max or with the higher up players for the center position. But he's somebody who might differentiate your lineup because I could see him only at maybe an 8 to 10% own rate. You got any comments on Denver?
Yeah, I mean, Nurkic is a possibility. He's only getting about 20 minutes a game, though, the last couple games. So, I mean, I don't know. He might be a GPP play for me.
Yeah, I see his minutes going up this game, but he's definitely a GPP. Stick away for him for cash. If you're gonna go cash, you got the other options out there. So I'd stick away with him for cash.
Yeah, I would definitely stay away if you're gonna do cash. But I'm trying to look at Larry Drew. I'm actually kind of looking at my lineup as we're doing the show here, kind of give me some ideas. But yeah, sounds good to me.
Another Hail Mary play might be a Gallinari. He is coming back from an injury. He's always injured. I love that guy, but he always seems to be injured. He's somebody who can actually take fire and actually hit a lot of shots. So if they give him the minutes tonight, he might be somebody that nobody would really own, but you could get 30 points easily out of him. So he's somebody I'd look at for GPP, not cash. Again, not cash. Cash games, you're going to be safer with the later games just because of the higher point spreads that Vegas is putting on it. But you could definitely get some value guys out of these games. So now we move on to Boston, New York. Good old Boston versus New York.
Yeah, not a really exciting game.
Oh my God, I got some good players out of this game, dude. So there's been some news. Brad Stevens had said that there's going to be some changes to the lineup. He's being a little secretive with it. First off, Sullinger's probably going to go back to being a starter, but that's really not a big deal. I would avoid him for tonight.
That was just one game anyway. He was late for practice.
Yeah.
We're talking about practice.
Practice. But yeah. But
he was late for a game, I think, though. I think he was late for a game. My bad. I apologize.
You're looking at Marcus Smart as being a
Marcus Smart.
You're looking at Marcus Smart. He started the second half last game, and he put up nine assists. I think it was 9 assists. He ended up having 5 rebounds, a steal. He ended up getting 26 points starting the second half. He ended up getting 30 minutes. So if Brad Stevens decides to start Marcus Smart, he is a good sneaky play. I may even play him in a cash game. Just to be able to throw him out there as something that will differentiate my lineup. It also a guy that I'm guaranteed because the small forward position does not look that good unless you're gonna go Wilson Chandler from the Nuggets, Carmelo Anthony for the Knicks. Supposedly he was injured. They were gonna hold him out a bunch earlier in the season, but it looks like he's coming back with a vengeance. I think he has 40 points in his past 3 out of 6 games. So you're definitely looking at a guy who can go off, even more than that. So he's somebody I like, and I like a lot. What's your idea on him?
I think he's a great guy. I mean, he's a great pick. I mean, he's been doing really well lately, and if there's anybody you really want to pay up for, he would definitely be the guy you want to pay up for tonight. Me personally, I'm going to be looking elsewhere. But for sure, I mean, there's a ton of value out there tonight with the Larry Drews of the world and possibly Marcus Smart. I mean, so you can definitely fit him in. I mean, DeMarcus Cousins too, though. I mean, I think he's one of those guys. He's one of those matchup-proof kind of guys. I mean, you look at his numbers, 53, 53. He had a bad game against Toronto, but I mean, you're gonna have bad games. But I mean, Carmelo's actually a good play. I mean, I don't 8,800. The thing with a guy like Cousins, you get Cousins in there, uh, you can't really where are you gonna go from there? I mean, in my opinion.
Oh, I have a roster where I got Melo, Cousins, and Curry rostered. So
Oh well, I
there's
guess it could work.
no, there's value. There's definite value out there. A guy that I'm gonna tell you guys to look at, who's pretty much a lock in all my lineups, is Jason Smith. Matchup's great. Boston has one of the weakest interiors defenses, and he also can shoot the three. He's at getting about 34, 30, 32, 32 minutes wise. He didn't have that great of a game against LA, but he started off really hot. So Jason Smith and Lou Almondson are the two power forwards I'm looking at in this game.
I like Lou Amundsen a lot.
Lou's been he's been going up and down minutes wise, but he's somebody that I think could break down their interior. I could see him easily dropping a 10 spot point wise and 13 rebounds easily. So he's somebody that I could see reaching value very quickly. So he's somebody I would be looking at very deeply. Center wise, yeah, Zeller's out there, but I don't know how many minutes he's going to be playing. He's been playing pretty heavy minutes because Olenek's out. And he did about, 30 last game. So he's not terrible. He's not a terrible pick, but he's not a cash game pick. He's more of a GPP.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, definitely the guys for sure is going to be your Jason Smith and Lou Amundsen for sure. They've just been playing great. Tyler Zeller, I think I would probably fit him in. I don't think the matchup's all that bad.
Oh, the matchup's really good. Matchup's good.
I mean, he 18, 20. I mean, if he could just get the minutes, but that's the problem. You just really, like you said, you just really don't know what you're going to get minute-wise from him. Also, you got to keep in mind, though, tonight, I don't know if we really touched on this. It looks like he's doubtful, but you just never know in the NBA. Amari Stoudemire, his ankle, he was originally questionable, and now he's doubtful. I don't know if he's been officially ruled out.
From what the camps I saw and from the little bit of beat reporters that I've read, avoid Amari. Don't play him. Even if he plays, even if he suits up and they say he's going to play, you're going to see 10 minutes out of him. He's just going to mess up their whole roster. So if he does play,
I mean, be wary of like Jason Smith.
Yeah, guys like that.
There.
Minutes if he plays. Lou Almondson will definitely lose minutes if he plays. So be wary of that. But otherwise, do not play him unless you're doing something crazy on a GPP and you think that's going to differentiate your lineup. But he'll be at like a 0.1% own-wise. He'll be the only guy owning him. So avoid him.
But, yeah, keep in mind, though, on like you were talking about, Marcus Smart, if Avery Bradley sits tonight, which he's listed as questionable with his fractured left thumb, he said he's considered day-to-day. But if he's out, Marcus Smart, to me, would be one of the top value picks of the night.
Yeah, he's a good play, for sure. So let's move on. Let's go to the Miami-Detroit game. What do you see in this game? I mean, I don't like this game. I see some players that I'm going to probably look at, but I don't really like this game.
I mean, if you want to go Bosh, I mean, he's had to be picking, he's got to pick it up now that Dwayne Wade's out. But still, I think he's a little bit overpriced for his recent production. So, I mean, I'm kind of going to slide away from him. Everybody seems to be on Augustine tonight. I don't know. I don't really necessarily like him.
Why do you not like him?
Really? I just don't know. I mean, he had one bad game. He had one bad game against Philly.
He had one bad game out of 5 or whatever, or 4 games. He did burn you, but
yeah. I mean, I think I'd rather go with guys like Steph Curry. If I'm going to go point guard wise, I think I'm going to pay up for a point guard tonight. And then if I want to go down, I might as well just go with a Larry Drew or a Marcus Smart. I mean, he's in that middle range where I just don't feel comfortable paying that price for him.
He's got a high ceiling. I mean, his matchup's definitely tough, but it's not as tough as you would think because he's going to be guarded by a Mario Chalmers or a Napier. Those guys are not the best defenders in the world. So I could see him being a good pick.
Chalmers isn't too bad.
He's not the best defender. And then guys, Tyler Johnson.
I love it.
I'm not sold. He's definitely a good value pick, but I'm not sold. I don't know what kind of minutes he's gonna get. He had so many minutes that one game, but that's one game.
With Dwayne Wade out, he's going to be getting his fair share of minutes, I guarantee.
I like him fantasy-wise, but at the same time, fantasy doesn't sell the coach on Spolster to play him. I mean, I don't know. Be wary, but I think he could easily drop 25, probably. I don't like the minutes, though. I don't know what kind of minutes he's going to be getting. A play that I definitely would say out of this game, if you're not going crazy, on the small forward position, Lou Aldang's playing tonight, and he plays heavy minutes. He always does. So he can get you 30, 35. He's a great cash game play. So if you're not going to be paying up to get Carmelo Anthony, play Lou Aldang.
Yeah, Lou Aldang's a good pick, too. And the thing is, with Dwayne Wade out, they need somebody to score. And if it's not Bosch, it's got to be somebody else. And right now, I mean, Bosch is, like I said, he's been doing well. And I'm not saying he's a bad play. But what I'm saying is
there's better plays.
And 12, I think there's better plays at his position.
Yeah, on his own team. On his own team. Whiteside's the better play. $100 cheaper.
Definitely Whiteside. Right, if you're going to pay up, it's going to be Whiteside. But
Whiteside's the better play. He's getting more minutes. He has more upside. Look, against Chicago, he got 58. Against Milwaukee, he's got 40. Dallas, 50. Boston, 37. This guy is here to stay. I promise you guys, the rest of the season, Whiteside is going to be a name. I know we all had him as a value pick a few weeks ago, and that's going to tarnish you guys where, oh, my God, I don't want to pay that much for that guy, and you're going to phase him out of your lineups. Don't phase him out. This matchup works. Play him. Play him for sure, especially cash games. If you can get him and DeMarcus Cousins in a lineup, play them together. That's a good pairing. Then if you can throw in a Steph Curry, then you're looking gold. But you definitely got to hit those value guys too. But yeah, play him. He's only 7,700. He's a great pick. He's one of my locks of the night.
What are you talking about? Say that again. Who?
Whiteside's one of my locks tonight.
Oh yeah. Whiteside for sure. Yeah, definitely.
You might look Drummond, because Drummond seems to do well, but Drummond does not play that good of defense, man. He may get a block here, a block there. Like, let's see, he got 6 blocks, 3 blocks, but, I mean, he doesn't play the interior that well. So I'm liking the Whiteside pick. And Whiteside could block Drummond all day, too.
Whiteside for sure. I think he's up there with one of the top plays. And he's, like you said, he's only 7,700, so he's definitely worth the money to put him in. He's been just on a tear lately.
Yeah, and people may look Monroe's way. I don't like the matchup. Whiteside may be positioned onto him sometimes. Monroe seems to be consistent, though. He seems to be a little matchup proof. 40, 38, 32, 47. He's a cash game only, but I wouldn't pay up for him. I just don't. I see way too much better picks out there, guys.
I mean, if you're going to, as I'm saying, if you're going to try to go for Monroe, you might as well just go up and get Aldridge.
Yeah.
For 1,000 more. I mean.
And even him, he's not worth it with all those other guys out there. The power forward is not a position, and center is not a position other than DeMarcus Cousins and Whiteside that I'm going to be paying crazy for.
I'm actually staying away from Cousins tonight, and it sounds crazy, but I'm definitely he's actually questionable right now, but he's listed as probable.
So he's going to play. He's playing, dude. He's been on the injury report the past 3 games. They just like to keep him on the injury report just in case. But yeah, he's playing tonight. And if you don't remember, what was the Sacramento Golden State game?
Oh yeah, Klay Thompson, man, Klay Thompson.
Klay Thompson nailed them. So DeMarcus Cousins, though I say don't play with your heart, play with your mind. DeMarcus is insulted, and he's going to come out and he's going to play well. He's insulted. I promise you that. He is not happy with that. So he's somebody I'm looking at. So let's move over to the Golden State game. Steph Curry is like he's amazing. I see him getting 50 or 60 tonight. The matchup just is amazing. I feel DeMarcus will keep them in the game, so we're not worried too much about a blowout. Though Vegas does give it a 9-point spread. Golden State is the team that I'd be rostering a lot of players from. A sneaky pick might be Darren Collison. Collison's been good. Nobody really thinks about him when they think fantasy, but he's been putting together a good thing of games. Klay Thompson, he's not going to repeat that game that he had, but I could easily see him getting 40 or 50. Draymond's pretty good. I'd avoid Rudy Gay just for the price. Yeah, I mean, Andrew Bogut, I would not go with. He's screwed you in the past, but he seems to be that guy that they do last-minute scratches on, so I'd avoid him.
Yeah, I would definitely the Splash Brothers, like you said, Curry and Thompson are guys that you want to target here tonight. Trying to looking down the list. I mean, I think even to be honest with you, actually probably not. I was kind of looking at one guy, but probably.
What guy? Say his name.
I was looking at Harrison Barnes. I think if you want to go cheap, but I mean, you could find better value at his price.
You can find better value, but he definitely, if it does turn out to a blowout, he'll be a guy that runs the squad. So he might.
Well, I mean,
look at, but I wouldn't play him in cash at all.
At 4,300, you can just go ahead and get Joe Ingles for the same price.
Yep, Ingles is somebody with.
You just might as well just go get Ingles. Darren Collison, yeah, not bad, 6,400, but again, I think I'll go elsewhere.
Look at his. He's got a great matchup, man. The last 3 games against Golden State, he has 35 points. You look at his 10-game spread, he did 39, 20, 20, 33. But I feel he's a solid pick, dude.
I think he's definitely in play.
I see him getting 40 tonight with the match.
For my possible lineup that I have, I just don't have room for him.
No, I understand.
With everybody else that I have in there. David Lee, not really going to go there. I'm really not touching anybody else, I think, from this game besides the Splash Brothers. On the Sacramento side, it's probably the only guy you're really going to play is probably DeMarcus Cousins. I don't really see anybody else besides.
Jason Thompson's an option, but you might as well look other places. But Jason Thompson has been getting minutes. It's just he hasn't been producing. So there's a possibility he may get heavy minutes tonight against Golden State, but Golden State has a really tough interior defense, so I'd avoid Jason Thompson.
I mean, if you would want to play Rudy Gay just to kind of change your lineup a little bit from everyone else, I don't think he's a bad play.
I think he'll play Draymond, though.
I think he's a nice risk. He's a nice little risky play there.
What I will throw out to you really quick.
I think he has more upside, though. Rudy Gay has more upside.
Draymond Green probably has more upside.
I don't think so.
For the fact that Rudy Gay will probably be guarding Klay Thompson tonight, because Nick Staus is not going to be guarding Klay Thompson again after that embarrassment of a performance on defense. So Rudy Gay is probably going to flip over to him, and they may try to put Nick Staus on Draymond. So I see Draymond being a possibility of getting 40 points tonight. So he's somebody to look at.
I think Rudy Gay could put up 40 myself, to be honest. That's just me. I think Rudy Gay has the bigger upside. But we agree to disagree.
All right, but against Golden State, dude, I'm going to throw that out there. He's only got 23 points.
Let's make sure we remember this moment right here. Rudy Gay or Draymond Green to have the most points.
All right. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
I'm saying Rudy Gay, you're taking Draymond Green.
If we're going to compare the two, yes, most definitely. Draymond's a better pick than Rudy Gay.
Definitely got to write this down so we remember this.
Write it down. You know what? I'm throwing it out there. You can even pair him with Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, and you're not handcuffing yourself. They have a possibility of having 108 points, or I think it's 113 points by Las Vegas. So you're not going to handcuff yourself by taking all 3 of them.
Yeah, it's 113 is their projected score. Pace of play for both teams is pretty high. Again, I think the only Jason Thompson's worth a look, but I mean, I think you can do better. You can do better elsewhere.
All right, last game of the night, guys. We're looking at Utah, Portland.
I like Gordon Hayward a lot in this game. even though a lot of people are off him because of the potential blowout.
I'm off him. I don't like him. Don't like him.
I think he's a very solid play tonight. Let's see. You know what? Let's go ahead and see. Where's he at? I'm trying to find him. Okay, I got to go to all games. Okay.
History-wise against Portland throughout his career, he's done really crappy. That's not this season. That's previous. But if you're going to ignore that, he's been doing really well as of recent. He's been really crappy against Portland through his
I think he gets 35 tonight.
I say that's good for him. But again, he is 8,100.
Yeah,
so
if you want to, yeah, I get what you're saying. If you're gonna pay up, you might as well just go get Carmelo.
Yeah, I mean, because you could see 50 out of him. You could see 50 out of Gordon. I mean, Hayward is a boom or bust player. I just don't like playing him in cash. My cash isn't worth me risking on a guy such as Hayward. I don't, he's just not somebody that always goes off.
I think he's gonna get 35 tonight. That's just me.
30,
that's 35. Not really. That's not value. That's not value, but
that's not value. That's undervalue. So
it is undervalue.
You don't want your picks to be.
I still like them. I think the upside is there.
You might want to rethink your picks, sir.
I think I don't have him in my lineups because there's other spots that I feel I'm a little bit more safer with. But I wouldn't necessarily say that I would not play him tonight. A lot of people say they wouldn't play him, but I'm gonna say that I probably the right lineup and the right price. If I could put him in there, I would.
Yeah, Ingles is probably somebody I'd look at from this game instead. Ingles has been doing really well as of late. He's been getting the minutes. Center-wise, yeah, and his Cantor and Rudy Gobert are there. Gobert had, I think, a double-double his last game.
I just don't think you can touch.
I'm avoiding both of them. There's too many centers out there that I can go with that are a little bit different. Robin Lopez is coming back tonight, so stick away from Chris Kaman. His minutes are going to drop even more. And I would not pick up Robin Lopez right off of an injury, especially with said matchup. Damian Lillard, I like him always. He's always a guy that can go off. For 8,600, there's better options.
Well, the thing for me, though, when you're looking at Rudy Gobert and Cantor, that's just the problem right there. They're both fighting for
splitting time
spots. They're both fighting. If I knew clear cut one was going to get way more minutes than the other, and you actually had somebody who was favored minutes wise, then I could see. But they take away from each other big time, and I think they're really overpriced, both of them.
Oh yeah, for their time. Actually, they're not technically overpriced. It's just they split their time so much. You never know which one's going to go off. You're playing with fire. You're rolling the dice. Not two guys that I'm going to be. Those are guys I'm going to shy away from. Derek Favors, though, he's got a tough matchup. But again, he had a tough matchup against Golden State, and he put up 32. So he's somebody in cash games you'd be safe with. And then a play that I'm going to say would be a sneaky play that I actually really like is Trey Burke. He's getting his minutes back. I don't know if he's going to be starting, but I know he's got his minutes back. So he's going to probably get you about 30 points tonight against a quick-paced Portland. So I could easily see him getting you 30 tonight.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think Aldridge is always in play, but again, on a night like tonight, you're probably going to want to pay up somewhere else. Wesley Matthews too, if you want to fit him in. I think he's still in play, even with a tough matchup. But again, I mean, that's just if you really need to kind of just plug in somebody. But in all purposes, I'd probably stay away from him. He's a nice GPP, but definitely cash. You got to definitely stay away from. Let's see here. Anybody else? Galloway. Did we forget to talk about Galloway tonight?
You like Galloway? He's too expensive, dude.
It's either Galloway or a follow for me. I'm not really sure.
Dude, I'd go follow. He is better defensive-wise. Galloway, dude, he has the possibility of dropping you a donut. I mean, dropping you like nothing at all. Especially if Marcus Smart starts. Marcus Smart's like one of the better defenders, dude, in the league. So I'm going to avoid Galloway. Calderon, though, a little bit cheaper. Gets a little bit less minutes, has actually higher upside. So,
definitely definitely watch that Marcus Smart, though. If Marcus Smart starts, he's a guaranteed plug and play. Put him in your lineups. Just
Yeah,
do it.
most definitely. I like him. All right, so let's
Definitely
go.
do
Let's
it
go
if
with our
you.
final word, guys. I'll choose 4 guys. He'll choose 4 guys, and we'll go from there. All right. All right. Well, I choose 4 guys for tonight. My number 1 pick has got to be Steph Curry. Steph Curry tonight, man. He's somebody that you got to get into your lineups for sure. Another pick that I could say with confidence, Carmelo Anthony. I like him. I like him definitely against Boston or Boston, dude. So Carmelo Anthony is somebody I'm looking at as well. 2 more picks. I guess I'll go value. So that Marcus Smart pick, if he starts, of course, that's a contingency. And actually, there's this other play that I wanted to talk about quick that I'm going to say is a value pick, and that's Jamari Grant. He's been getting some minutes. He plays for the 76ers. I did not mention him before. He's been playing heavy minutes for the 76ers, especially with today's matchup. I could see him easily playing 25, 26 minutes. So with that up pace, I could see him dropping value easily. So Jamari Grant, somebody I'd look at. He's min price. You there?